Hey everybody, Jamie here. Welcome back to episode number 4 of Keeping It Real with Jamie, your ultimate real estate plus show. We're still reeling from our last episode with the Shorty Long Band. It was a little crazy in here, but today we're going to be back to real estate. My phone number is 732-558-3286. You guys all know my history of being a different realtor, and I keeping that strong. It's been working. I have client testimonials that'll back that up. Whether you're buying or selling in this tough market, you know, you need your realtor that you pick does count. So with that being said, today I am super excited, right, Donna? Who we have? We have a guest today. Of course we have a guest. We have the one, the only, Mark Kotzas from Crossroads Realty, the owner, broker, and it's an honor to have you here, Mark, because I talk highly of you, and because my pitch is to everybody, and don't worry, you're going to talk. I'm going to get you in here, but I always say when I'm promoting to bring somebody on, and I was fortunate to bring about 7 people on to the company, which is good because I believe in this company, being a newer agent. And I always say, Mark Kotzas is a guy that if you're walking down the street and he's on the other side of the street and he sees you, Mark is going to come across that street, shake your hand, ask you how your family's doing. I don't think Jim Weiker's even going to know who you are. Not that Jim Weiker's a bad guy or anything, but he's not going to know who you are. And to me, and he'll do it to anybody, not just me, anybody. So, with that being said, Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jamie.
Of course, of course. So today we're going to talk about the history of Ocean County, and you have your finger on the pulse of Ocean County in real estate, you know, not only Ocean County, but throughout the state. You've been doing it how long?
Actually, I first got licensed when I turned 18. My father made me get my real estate license, so I've been licensed since then, and my initial real estate career started in New York City. I worked for CBRE, which is the originally Coldwell Banker Commercial. It's CBRE now. I worked there after college up until around the mid to late 90s, and then I started transitioning down here working in the family business.
Nice.
But my background is commercial real estate in the 5 boroughs of New York.
And is commercial still your main thing here?
Yeah, I basically only do commercial real estate.
Yeah. I mean, my memory of coming down here when I was a kid, and I always remember seeing the Crossroads signs everywhere. And I never really heard of the Crossroads. You know, everybody, of course, always hears the big boys on the block when it comes to real estate at first. But I always remembered seeing the signs and everything. And, you know, now, I'm a realtor now, and I'm here at Crossroads, which is amazing. So you've been doing this since 18. Wow, that's pretty good. And your dad, the original owner of the company.
Well, he founded the company in '66. He came down to, he was born and raised in Astoria, Queens. So he was, we're of Greek descent, so that was a big Greek neighborhood. And then after World War II, they saw an ad. My father saw an ad for what was once the Bay Bridge Inn, which is where Aqua Blue is now. It was this was in 1947 or 48. Wow. They came down here and they bought the Bay Bridge Inn for $17,000. It was a restaurant and a bar and boat rentals and cabins. And it was a summer business. And he got his real estate license in the wintertime when there was nobody down here. It was strictly a seasonal community at that point. And he started working with a guy named Joe Sitta, who you may know that name, who was probably 15 years older than my father. So he was sort of my father's mentor and got him started. They had a little office in downtown Toms River. There were maybe 5 or 6 realtors in the entire county at that point. And he stayed with Joe Sitta probably for about 10 or 12 years. And then Joe did not want to expand the business at that point, and the growth of the county was starting to happen after the Parkway got finished in 1955. So that was the first big growth spurt in Ocean County was once the Parkway was completed. Right. And then my father wanted to be up here on the highway, so his first office was a little bungalow on the corner of Route 9 and Route 37, thus the name Crossroads. That's where they came up. That was the
okay.
main intersection in town at that point. So he had a little bungalow there. He started in that, and then he expanded to the building that's a few buildings down from where we are here, and then he built this building later on. And then, over time, he kept expanding. His first office, I think, was in brick. By the time he passed away in 2012, we had 16 offices in Ocean and Southern Monmouth counties.
Wow. But you kept it going and really, what we are now and...
it's
you hear so many failure stories of kids that come in and they take over and they know everything, and a lot of companies do go down. I mean, you took it and look at us, we're pretty badass.
Well,
Mark,
there's
don't
a
worry.
lot of adapting to change, and
yes.
as my father would say, I was born on third base, but I had to work very hard to get to third base.
Nice.
And it's not an easy business, and you're absolutely right. A lot of businesses, I think there's maybe only one or two that are still in business here when he got started, and people come and go. And as you know, any family business, it's very few make it to the second generation, and then even less make it to the third generation.
Yeah.
And there's been huge amounts of changes in the county. I don't have to tell you that. So the first growth was when the Parkway got finished, and then the second big spurt was after the race riots in North Jersey in '68 and '69.
Yeah, I was a little kid.
There was a huge exodus from Newark, Jersey City, Bayonne, and the first affordable housing was Ocean County. So the area just absolutely exploded at that point in the early '70s. So for a good part of the '70s, Ocean County was the fastest growing county in the country.
That's what I saw. I'm originally from North Jersey, like a lot of the people down here, and I remember my earliest memories was coming down the shore, for Ortley, the barrier island.
Yep.
37 was a 2-lane road, and we knew we were getting close because the sand, you see the sand on the side of the road. Some of the buildings and stores are still there, but that was my biggest thing. And even growing up as a teenager, I was here as much as, and I knew I was going to live in Ocean County by the beach. And I've 30 years now. I guess I've been down here 30 years now.
So a lot of the old timers, the locals who have been here, and it's funny, my father, even though he came here in 1946, the families that were here, the original founding families, the Claytons and the Irons and the Applegates, always used to tease him that he was still the newcomer, even though he had been here for 70 years or something at that point. But we have an amazing thing here. As much as I travel and go other places, we have the perfect combination of being 45 minutes to an hour from Philly, an hour and 15 to the Holland Tunnel, because I do it twice a week.
Nice.
The most amazing stretch of beach, and 144,000 acres of pristine pine barrens to the west of us.
And so if you're a gambler, you can be in Atlantic City in under an hour.
We really do have, there's a reason that this is such a desirable place to live. And it was in the 40s when my parents came here. I mean, there was nothing here, so it's changed a lot. And, we all like to complain about the traffic and things like that, but we still attract people want to retire here. They want a vacation here. I mean, after Hurricane Sandy, we thought, oh my God, nobody's going to want to come back to the shore now. But within a year or two, it was the demand for housing was just as strong as it had always been. We really do have a magical. I'm a sailor and a boater. We have regattas here on Barnegat Bay where people come from all over the eastern seaboard to sail here. Because we have shallow water bay with wind off the ocean with a barrier island, which is ultimate sailing conditions. So we have some of the best sailing and boating. You talk to fishermen, we have the inlet here. We have amazing fishing. So we really have so much going on. And for the longest period of time, we had affordable housing. Some would say we don't have that anymore, but we were always the first affordable housing ring down here. So you can still retire here for a relatively affordable price.
Yeah, and now it's obviously farther south you go, the more you get for your dollar. But I mean, this area I can never see living anywhere else in Jersey than Ocean County. This area of Ocean County, Jackson's a whole nother world, and New Egypt when you get out towards that way, I think that's still Ocean County, New Egypt.
It is.
But yeah, this is our beaches, like Seaside Park. Which is part of Berkeley.
Well, Island Beach State Park, whenever I have house guests here in the summertime, I always go to Island Beach State Park and Tice's Shoals because it's for people that aren't familiar with it, it's just this magical, pristine.
And people don't think of that.
It's how
when it
the
comes to
Jersey Shore looked 100 years ago. Which
It really is.
Until you get way down, to the Great South Bay, there aren't many parts of the Jersey Shore that still look the same as they did 100 years ago as that is. So when you take your boat over and you wade onto Tice's Shoals and you go down to the end, it's unbelievable how beautiful it is.
Yeah, it really is. And, even now, I think remember they were dumping the garbage out in the ocean and everything now. Back in the day, since they've cleaned that up, I've noticed now, going out to your chest in the water here,
The water's very
you can see your feet, which is amazing. And, we've been to beaches all over, too. I like the Jersey Shore, and I still like going up to the boardwalk. You get that, I guess because I was a kid, brings the memories back and everything. Now I walk my grandson up there, and I put him on some of the same rides I went on.
That's really cool.
But it really did take off, even since I've been down here in the limited time I've been here, 30 years, just how 37 has changed. And now that I notice it more because I'm in real estate and I'm checking the
and now Route
out.
72 looks like is looking like Route 37.
That's crazy down there.
Yeah.
And you got both island. I like this barrier island better than LBI. That's just my personal opinion. I think we're much cooler up here. And nothing against LBI people, but I think this is my home turf. So I guess I'll call it my home turf now, right, Don? Right? All right. So Ocean County College comes along now, turned into a small college now. Look, that's a stepping stone for so many kids now, getting their 2 years in there and then boom, going to Rutgers or wherever else they're going to go. And Georgian Court College, that's a university now, I believe, right?
Right. And so my parents, both my mother and my father, were instrumental. My mother was a founding member of Community Medical Center. She started working, raising money for the hospital back in 1960. And my father was a founding trustee of Ocean County College back in the mid-60s when that started. So both my parents felt that being part of the community was very, very important. But they also had the foresight to know that without a major medical center and good health care and also a secondary education, that the area was never going to be able to grow past, just a summer resort area. So they had the foresight 65 years ago, that they knew there was a group of business people here that knew having a hospital and a real hospital. We had originally was 50 beds. Now I think they have 600 beds.
Yeah,
and if you've seen the new plans, what they're doing the merger with RWJ has been really significant. So they're putting a $450 million addition onto the hospital.
Yeah, I see the construction, and then they got the new down the street there.
The new building, and you saw they tore down. Those were our buildings in the front that my father owned. So we did a land lease to the hospital, so that's where the addition is eventually going to be built on our land there. So we named part of the new emergency room after my parents.
Nice.
Which was really nice.
How nice is that?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah,
because nobody's gonna know who we are in a generation, so it's nice.
Nah, they're gonna remember you. Come on. I'm gonna. Well, my kids will know. So, what do you like to do for fun, Mark? Besides, I know you're a workaholic.
I do.
You do a lot of work. You're a tough guy. Sometimes get a hold of, which is good. But you do show your face in everybody in the company, which is great.
I love what I do, so it doesn't really feel like work.
Right.
And this is the kind of business that's a really hands-on kind of business. It's not like, we own a factory someplace and, the factory line runs with or without you. So it's a real hands-on kind of business. And we're a people business. So we have 300 agents. I try to get to know everybody that works here. And we're a client-facing business. So, and we're a service business. So you got to be visible. You got to be out there. As far as what I like to do in the summer, I play a ton of tennis.
Yep.
So you've seen some of the postings. I won a couple of tournaments this summer, so I like to brag about that at my age, that I'm still beating people that could be my kids. So that makes me feel good.
That's
and
good.
I do a ton of sailing, so I sail on Saturdays. I'm part of the BBYRA series. I race a sandpiper.
Really?
up on the north end of the bay. So I do that for fun. And this time of year, I play platform tennis or paddle tennis. I play on the men's state league. So we play every Saturday morning, either home matches here or we go up to North Jersey and play all your friends up there. So I'm undefeated so far this year. So not to toot my own horn
let's go
again.
play some paddleball. Oh. Nice. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
And the other thing I do, which you might not know, is every Sunday I work at my church. We run a food kitchen. We feed between 250 and 300. This is in Manhattan. So I work at St. John the Divine, and we have a lot of migrants, as you know now. So we feed a lot of families. The last 6 or 8 months has been a ton of families coming up from Central and South America. So I work in a soup kitchen every Sunday.
Wow.
And we have a family foundation. I've been very fortunate so I basically took over our family's philanthropic arm. So the most fun I've been having lately has been, and the mandate for the foundation is to give money out in Ocean County where the money was made. So we've had a really good run we support. Just in the last month, we've did a big event for Habitat for Humanity. I believe I ran into you there.
Yep.
So we're building houses.
That was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've been very, very involved with Habitat. We're involved with caregivers. Harbor. My mother started Harbor House, which is a kids charity.
Yep.
I sat on Ocean County Hunger Relief Board for many, many years. So we do a lot of local philanthropic work, and that's been really gratifying
huge
for me personally.
That's great. That's great. I know you do a lot of charity work. I'm with Ron all the time. He always tells me, and I see the posts that you guys, put up.
Yeah,
all
we
the
haven't
time.
tooted our own horns
But
too
it's good
much
to
on
give
that.
back to. That's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that. That's why we're sitting here talking to market. We're finding all this out now, and I think we're being very tame, right?
You don't have to be tame with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. David.
no, not. I didn't want to get either one of us in trouble because, listen, I have a habit of getting myself in trouble.
Me too. I've been taken out of our human resources department. I've been, taken out of a lot of things that I should be on that they don't allow me to speak at anymore.
Listen,
so
I'll listen. So, Mark, it was definitely, I learned a lot more about you, which is good because, again, you're a personal guy, and I get to see you at a lot of the functions and get to spend time and talk with you with everybody else in the company, which is a great thing. I feel the family that we have here is we're all close.
Well, we run it like a family. We run
Really?
it sort of like a mom and pop a little bit. It's a family business. Look, our agents are independent contractors. You can work everywhere. There's companies. Every time I get a solicitation for a new startup company that I've never heard of, there's literally, I think, 10,000 licensed realtors in Ocean and Monmouth County, 100,000 realtors in New Jersey. There's probably 50 companies or 60 companies that operate in our Ocean Monmouth marketplace. You guys can work anywhere. There's plenty of online realtors. There's plenty of places that work out of a basement someplace where you can cut a deal.
Oh, yeah.
But to make it's got to be a place. I spend so much time at the office. I want it to be a fun place to come to work, and that you like coming to work, and you like the people you work with. So I think and I'm not
You check
bragging,
all the boxes there.
But we have an amazing management team.
Yeah. All your managers, everybody.
Our managers, Chris, who you work with. Our social media and advertising with Bridget that we do, our tech people. I mean, we really run a tight ship, and I think that makes a big difference.
And you offer so much to the agent, especially me, being a newer agent. I've only been doing it 3 years. And to see when I came in here what you offer everybody, not, like I said in one of my earlier broadcasts, it's not a cliquey thing. You know what I mean? Everybody gets the same attention here. That's not, in most places, it's really not that.
Well, some of that, and you work very hard, and you're very good at what you do.
Thank you.
But I think that mentoring and that support and that training and the constant education and involvement in the community has all sort of taken you to
come around.
It's taking you to the next level.
Yes,
I think
it definitely is. And since I came to Crossroads, whether it's coincidence, I don't believe it is. Again, as being a new agent, what they do here for you guys, I mean, this is a no-brainer here. Not even to say when you get a commission, it's in your bank account within 48 hours. In your bank account in 48 hours. So the mom pop thing is what you said, and that's exactly what it is.
Well,
and
we're
that's
sort
what
of a
attracted
big mom
me.
and pop with
We're
we now
big.
have 11
Yeah, we're not
offices,
no little.
but we're sort of the best of both. From the agent point of view, I think we're a good sized company because if you work for I think what a lot of realtors don't realize is that, I'm not going to mention any franchise names, but you have 2 or 3 franchises that have 4 different ownerships of franchises that are competing against each other in Ocean County.
Yeah.
So if you work for one of the big franchises and a customer's trying to find you, they could go through 4 or 5 of those offices that they don't even know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no personal touch there. And also the beauty of being an independent broker for me is that I don't have to get approval from franchisor in Texas or Chicago or wherever they're based to get approval to do something or approval to expand or take over another market. We can open and close offices as the world changes. So for example, we've always had offices all over the county: Point, Lavalette, Brick, Jackson, Southern Ocean County, Toms River, where we're based. We've been in a bunch of the adult communities in and out over the years. And so, for example, in Ocean County, as the Lakewood market has exploded exponentially in growth, we were able to take over an old Century 21 in Lakewood and open there. I didn't need anybody's permission. I didn't have to go to my franchise, and we were able to do that. So we've been able to expand both organically by opening new offices in different areas as they grow, or contract and back out of areas that have changed or it's just not working out for us. So it allows us the flexibility to position ourselves as the county has grown in different areas.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you definitely do that. And, now I see some of the inner stuff, because the more I'm getting in, like with Ron and everything, he's showing me more and more as I'm going. And, I'm actually taking on a mentor now, which is hard to believe. But, one of the new agents that came in.
That's great. And you'll find that to be very fulfilling. Because
it already is.
Yeah.
First of all, I was honored for someone to ask me that. And I usually, when I get called into the office, it's, all right, what did I do? And he was like, no, I want you to be a mentor. And I was like taken back, So what he's doing to me is what I guess I was with him. You know what I mean? I'm taking someone in now. So, yeah, it's definitely pretty gratifying.
Well, and the cool thing, eventually, I mean, you're young still, but at some point in the future, to build a team would be the first step. A team, you're on a team, but to build a team within a team, which is how this industry is going. And what a lot of our successful agents do is and I just came from our Whiting office, where a person passes down their business within our business to team members, a kid, relatives, whatever. You spend 20, 30, 40 years building up, a reputation in your sphere of influence and a business that you can pass that on as well, which is nice.
Well, I'm actually going to go for my broker's license just to have it on my resume. I'm in the 4th quarter now, so I'm not opening anything, but just to have it on and when I do a team, which it's coming, I have that. You know what I mean? I was suggested, so that's what's going to happen. So
I'd like to work on Team Jamie if I could.
Well, we're going to call it the Keeping It Real team. I think that's what we're going to call it eventually. But listen, this is just talking now, but eventually, and I'll always be here, as far as real estate goes. Because, again, the whole mom pop thing, that hits a key with me, because I'm very family oriented.
Well, I think there's something that comes from authenticity that you just don't get with a franchise. If you're a national franchise,
you're a number.
It's just a numbers game, and it's for some of these franchises, it's strictly a recruiting game. I mean, I know the industry's in trouble when I get recruiting calls from some of these big franchises that they have no idea who anybody is in our market. They're just they're tasked with making 30 or 40 phone calls in a day, and it's just they're basically MLMs. They're multi-level marketing. So some of these franchises are sort of like Amway or Herbalife, where they're just trying to. It's an MLM where you're getting a piece of somebody else's thing, but there's no building of a career. And there's no longevity. One of the things I can say is like when I show up at our company events and I look around the room and I say, oh, she's been with us 25 years and he's been with us 20 years. We're not the kind of industry that has that kind of longevity.
No, not at all.
And I have 2nd and 3rd generation people working here, which is really unusual. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, that's nice. And I've met so many better agents here. I'm just saying better agents because they're all willing to help here. Like
Yeah,
a lot of the other places, like, you know,
we have a no asshole factor. Am I allowed to say
no,
that?
yeah,
Are we on air?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there aren't many assholes in this company. I'm going to give you that. You know, I might be one of them. But
No, but we've worked very hard at not having that.
And
it's a competitive industry, so the last thing you want to do is come to work where you're not comfortable with the folks that are working with you, that they're going to be working against you in some way.
Yeah,
so
and it's nice because
we work hard at that.
Yeah, and it's any office I go into, they're
you're
always
welcome.
willing to help.
Yeah.
It's you know, like
try walking into a Remax office that's not part of the same the 5 Remax franchises that are fighting over market share here, and try getting help there.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I wasn't going to mention any names, but Jamie, you're making me steer out of control at this point.
It's
How much
all
more
right.
time do we have?
We're going to wrap it up. We're a half hour in. Mark, it was a pleasure. I'm so glad we finally did this. And again, you're a great guy, and I'm so glad I'm here with this family and part of this.
Thank
the
you,
opportunities that you give me to succeed. It's far more than any other realtor company. And all your agents out there who are going to watch this, give us a call. I mean, at least come and sit and talk, because this is definitely a place. Plus, bigger things are on the horizon, actually right here.
That's right.
So big stuff coming at Crossroads in the future. So watch out, everybody. Mark, thank you
Jamie,
again,
thank you so much. This was a pleasure.
It's an honor to have you
My
here.
first podcast.
Yes, nice.
Yeah.
We're going to do more.
All right, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I want to thank Shaffrey Associates, Crossroads Realty, and I want to thank Chris. Thank you again for making this possible. Stay safe, everybody.